Hi guys, my name is Parag Susteva and I'm a finance major with a minor in philosophy, pre-law, and a certificate in entrepreneurship. I'm gonna do a book review for us today. I have this blue book called Blue Ocean Strategy. I'm gonna open the first page. This is what it says. Blue Ocean Strategy, how to create uncontested market space and make the competition irrelevant. Yeah, so this book has two parts. Part one is all about blue ocean strategy, creating blue oceans and analytical tools and frameworks. Part two is about formulating those blue ocean strategies, so starting with reconstructing market boundaries and with a total of 11 chapters. So I'm going to just give a brief review and brief overview of what I think about this book, which I think is a must read for anyone really. Whether majoring in business or not, it's just a great way of thinking. So yeah, let me begin by stating what blue ocean is all about. You would think, what is blue ocean and how does that relate with business or strategy, so to speak? So I think blue ocean, what they're trying to refer to here is there is red ocean and there is blue ocean. Red ocean is all about sharks, trying to eat each other, trying to different species, different companies, metaphorically, trying to undercut each other, trying to kill each other because the market is so saturated. For them to survive, they have to undercut each other or try to, one way or the other, either by prices or value propositions, one way or the other, they have to cut each other to survive or to gain more market share. But in terms of blue ocean is all about how you make that competition irrelevant. They have, it's essentially the goal of a blue ocean strategy is for organizations to find and develop blue oceans and avoid red oceans. A company will have more success, fewer risks, and increased profits in a blue ocean market. So that's what the whole goal or the concept of blue ocean strategy is all about. So it's more of a departure from the typical management exercise that really focuses, the pinpointed details of number crunching and competitive benchmarking and this matrix or that matrix. How can we become more successful based on that matrix versus that matrix? So this book is more of a departure from that. So I'm going to discuss three major points which I really liked about this book and reading this book, and I'm going to take that with me forever, whether in a business setting or even a life setting. So the 3 points that I think really stood out for me, it's more than just being theoretical. Some books that you read, not just business books, some books that you read, even though they're non-fiction, they all sound pretty good. But when it comes to applying them, they somehow are below par or don't reach that mark where the book really testifies for. So it's more than theoretical. It's more than just being a book. You can apply that and see the results by yourself. So it's in contrast. It's more about a study that, exactly and factually speaking, it was a study. This book was a study that was done over 10 years and analyzed company successes and failures in more than 30 industries. So it's not just someone just out of the blue, no pun intended there, out of the blue came up with this book, just, all the good stuff and came up with the thinking, hey, how about we name something Blue Ocean? So it's not like that. This is backed by science, backed by companies, and backed by 10 years of analysis on different companies' successes and failures. The other point I think is important, next but not the least, is the competition, according to Blue Ocean Strategy, is irrelevant. It's an ocean where you decide where you want to focus. You decide what you want to, as let's say a fish, you decide what you want to eat, So I think that's where this really stands out. It isn't to outperform the competition or be the best in the industry. It's not about that. So that's why its aim is to really withdraw industry boundaries and operate within the new space, making the competition immaterial. So it's not like you're trying to somehow be better than the next company or the next person. Its goal is to come up with something that doesn't even compete with the competition, or you don't even have to find your competitors if you can come up with a product or service that is so unique that you're least worried about your competitors, you're most worried about the product or service and the value that it gives to its customers. Last but not the least, and I think it is one of the most important point, and I think I briefly touched upon that, it's called value innovation. I know we've all heard of value proposition. How come this? We've all heard of innovation. How come you're coming up with something called value and innovation put together in the same term, so to speak? So, value innovation is all about how do you come up with such a value that never existed before, even though it may sound outrageous that what are you talking about? What value that never existed that you can provide? Now, for example, the book talks about 3 examples. Cirque du Soleil, how there was a circus that was always been there, and how there was theater that people still love to watch, and it's Milliken being a best example. So Cirque du Soleil came up with a value innovation that combined or married both of them together, just to see how their potential customers, not even their current customers, how their potential customers, whether they will have any or not, how they will respond to such a value innovation. In other words, such a new value proposition that never existed before. As we all know, Cirque du Soleil was a success and a huge one. So the model is all about, there are people and customers, consumers like Cirque du Soleil's. There are people like those who exist, but they don't even know what they want. And when you offer them a value that combines 2 good things together, then they will certainly buy the product or service. So in that regard, it's more of a game changer. You don't have to fight your competition if you come up with a value innovation that combines and create a new value, and you will be the first starter. Cirque du Soleil started something like Cirque du Soleil. No other company can really compete because, they're known for that. They started that value. So they pretty much own that value innovation. So that's pretty much it. Those 3 things. And I know I elaborated more on the 3rd point, but I think that is one of the more important points. And that is where the crux of Blue Ocean strategy comes from. So that's all really about this book. There is a lot more in-depth reading that you guys can do. And I think for you to completely understand and wrap your head around this new concept, which is not relatively new, this book was first published in 2003. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend, if there is a scale more than 10, I would highly go for that one. So please go ahead and you can loan this book from me. I'm more than happy to give it to you. Or you can buy it online. You can loan it from a library. I would highly recommend, if you're a business major, if you're not a business major, regardless, buy this book, read this book, and let me know what you guys think. Thank you. Bye-bye.